Hello lovelies, today is the day we finish off the current situation section of the business and marketing plan. We have looked at mission and vision statements, defined our arts practice through our main products, and the market and SWOT analyses are done. That just leaves our product analysis and our competitive and networking analysis. I know what you're thinking. We've already defined our main products. Do we really need to analyze them as well? The good news is you've already done a big chunk of the work here. Remember we looked at the 6 Ps and the 5 product differentiation points? Now some of that work we put into our artist statement, the description of our arts practice, and now we're using what we know to finalize the product analysis. At the top of your physical or digital page, put the name of the product or service. Underneath that, the specific price or pricing schedule you have in place. Next, give nitty-gritty details like the size of the object and what materials we use to make it, or the length of the performance and what will happen on stage. The actual physical description, not the why questions that went into your artist statement. Now, a brief rundown of where that product is available and how the location plays into it. Is it a performance or gallery showing? Is it online? Does it run in real time, or is it something the customer can take away with them? If it's a combination of the two, explain how that works. For example, I might put on a concert that is all songs from my album, and you can purchase a copy of that album to take home with you. Now, thinking about all of our 6 Ps and our differentiation points, what are the benefits for the audience? How will owning or experience your art fit in with and enhance their life? Be sure to point out anything that increases the value of what you do. Remember, there might be multiple ways that one person could use your product, or different people might experience the same thing in a variety of ways. Explain how that could be applied to this product. And finally, how do subsidiary products or services you provide enhance your main product? Sure, the performance is the thing, but how does the venue affect the experience? Can I buy a program? At an exhibition opening, what kind of nibbles and drinks will there be? I'm not going to enjoy the art so much if I'm getting hangry. Can I get a picture with the artist? What kind of a build-up has there been? Is this something really new or shocking, or is it a process you've been blogging about and we're finally seeing the end result? The circumstances we are exposed to will change our experience of your art. So the product or service at the top, nitty-gritty details, and how it's going to change our lives. Repeat this process for each of the main products or services you have on offer, and your product analysis is done. Moving along now to competition and networking. If you're working as part of a larger organization, you would do a separate analysis of each, both competition and networking. But I find that as an individual artist, the vast majority of what would traditionally be viewed as our direct competition are in fact people we work with. They are a vital part of our network and we rely on each other. That's not to say you need to work with everyone, and you may have good reasons to exclude working with certain people or organizations for various ethical, moral, or just personal reasons. Get clear on why you do what you do, and that won't be a tough choice. Sure, you might miss some opportunities, but you'll feel good in yourself, and other opportunities that fit your philosophy are out there. The first part of our competitive and networking analysis is figuring out who are our people. Think about this. If you were unable to accept a certain opportunity and were asked for your recommendations, who would you nominate? These are people who do what you do, or close to what you do, and you would trust them to do a good job. As I say, in traditional business, these are your direct competitors, but in the arts, these are your best people resources. You can work together, team up on projects, promote each other, share information, and build up respect for the art form in a wider community. By making room and supporting each other, we raise everyone's profile and create more opportunities. There is no limit on job numbers for arts practitioners. Now let's widen the sphere. We've got general arts and culture competition, and indirect competition too. There may not be a limit on how many people can have success in the arts, but there is a limited number of hours in a typical day of your audience that they can devote to the arts? What else are they interested in doing that might take their time and attention away from your arts practice? For example, when Hot August Jazz happens every year in North Hobart, if I'm not on the program, I'm not going to plan a different concert because I know my audience is already busy that day. If there are 2 or 3 different theatre productions running simultaneously, and a food event on the Hobart waterfront, or a museum open day, my audience is busy that day. Those are my general arts and culture competitors. There are also what I think are completely unrelated activities that can impact my audience numbers. For example, sporting events, especially finals, or if a big national or international team is playing in town. If it's a beautiful warm day in Hobart with not a lot of wind, people generally want to be outside enjoying that rare event rather than inside at my concert. It's hard to accept that weather might be my competition, but it's a fact of where I live and work. So now we've got 3 lists: direct competition, which also includes your networking connections, general arts and cultural, and indirect competition. For the last 2, general and indirect, do a short list of the main advantages they have and the main advantages you have over them. For example, the weather in Hobart is really changeable, so you might not get a good beach day, but my concerts are a reliable standard, and generally being indoors, you won't get sunburnt or get hypothermia. We're kind of close to Antarctica. Now let's finalize the first list, direct competitors, and grow that into a substantive networking analysis. Look at that list of people who also do your job or something close to it. Figure out who you're already in contact with and make sure you've got their up-to-date details. Anyone you're not in contact with but you'd like to be in contact with gets put on a separate list that will work into the plan later on. Put that aside, but don't lose it. Back to your current network list. Add anyone you interact with regularly. For me, that's musicians that play and teach instruments that I can't. It's sound and lighting crew. It's venue managers, festival boards, school boards, costume designers, videographers, and more that I can't think of right now. Do you have staff or volunteer workers? Do you need particular services or rely on suppliers to get your work done? Again, make sure you've got their contact details and that you keep these up to date. You may not have a good reason to work with that particular person right now, but that's no reason not to send a little message saying how much you have enjoyed working with them in the past, that you'd like to work with them again, and so you're making sure you've got their information correct. Get their full name and their business name if that's different, phone numbers, emails, website and social media tags, the locations they are willing and able to work in, and the types of projects they are most interested in and highly skilled at. This networking list is incredibly valuable. Keep it well backed up and check the details regularly. Finally, turning the networking list into an analysis. Make note of any really good matches. For example, I love working with a singer-guitarist, Adrian. We do great harmonies together. I can play keys to back up his amazing guitar solos, and we've got a huge amount of repertoire together. If we were both only working as soloists, we would be in direct competition all the time. But together we've had some pretty amazing gigs. Maybe you could do a joint concert, exhibition, or special project with somebody, maybe even a group of someones in your network. Anyone who's interested in the same type of stuff as you can be a good match to work with in that way. Now look at anyone whose skill set complements yours. This might be as straightforward as deciding who in your team has the best writing skills and designating them to deal with grant applications, while you are great at photography, so you do all the promo shots and someone else does all the phone calls or whatever. Or maybe I might have a great idea for a music video, but I don't have the necessary skills to bring that idea to life. So I ask myself, who in my network already makes those kinds of visuals? Well, I know a really good videographer. He's an experienced director. He's great at editing. So that'd be the person I want involved in the project. They will enhance what I do simply by doing what they do. I would pay them for their work and be confident I was getting a really great end result. Rearrange your networking list so your best matches and complementary skills people are at the top of the list. Make detailed notes about why they are great people for you to have in your network, the skills they bring to your arts practice, the ways they enhance what you do by being good at what they do. At the bottom of the list, you'll start to see people you work with that don't add a lot of value, but maybe you need them from time to time. And it's okay if that's the only thing you have next to their details. If there's anyone on that networking list that you feel detracts from or decreases the value of your arts practice, make notes on how that plays out too. You might look at replacing that person in the future, but for now, you need to have them on your list so you can see how they affect your current situation. Now, it's more than just a list. It's an analysis. In fact, it's the last of our current situation analyses. From here, we will move on to setting goals, objectives, and setting up strategies and action plans for our arts businesses. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to continue turning your arts practice into a viable business, or simply to follow me on the creative journey. If you hit the bell, you'll get notified each time a new video goes live. I'll see you next time.